Gaurav Bhatia, legal wing of the Samajwadi Party. Vineet Narayan, senior journalist, and he's the man in that behind that tremendously important and relevant Vineet Narayan judgment, a part of which is also appended in by the CBI in their affidavit before the court today. Abid Rasool and Sanjay Jha. Abid Rasool of the Congress, Sanjay Jha of Hamara Congress. My first question is to Mahesh Jethmalani. Mr. Jethmalani, may I please, point out the government's defense to you? The government says that when the CBI has itself said that nothing in its basic findings has been changed, when none of the suspects' names have been removed, when there have been no changes to the central theme of the report, then why is the BJP jumping up and down on this affidavit today? If you look at point number 12, you'd know that they are absolutely right as far as that is concerned.
Yeah. Arnav, first, there's the question of whether this affidavit should have been shown to people who are directly in the line of suspicion, namely the PMO and the coal ministry. I mean, should officials of those two ministries have been present? Secondly, should law officers and the law minister of a government that is under suspicion have called the meeting, which was held, as you know, under the aegis of the law minister, and which the Attorney General was present. So it is illegal. This is like allowing an accused to see the prosecution case. The CBI is the prosecution, the government and its lawyers are the accused and its lawyers. So therefore, what you are really doing is, in the course of an investigation, that too being monitored by the Supreme Court of India, you are allowing the government even to have a look at it. Secondly, not only are you allowing it to have a look at it, you are allowing it to vet it and make corrections, serious corrections. And now I come thirdly to your main question, that what about the CBI's case, that the central theme of the affidavit doesn't stand change? That doesn't make a difference. First of all, we don't know what that means. The central theme may well be that, yes, there has been something terribly wrong in the manner of allocations. So what the CBI could be saying is that, yes, there is something terribly wrong in the manner of allocations, but what the government wanted to do was to sort of deflect the target and the actual person who was responsible for those wrongful allocations by changing the weightage, who changed the weightage, etc. All those factors which establish wrongful allocation, who was responsible for in the first place introducing them, and in the second place removing them. So the government affidavit, broadly speaking, yes, the CBI may be saying that the allocations are wrong, but on specific aspects, there's attempt at interference to dilute the broad finding of the CBI and perhaps to take away the real perpetrators of the crime.
Well, I'd like the Congress to respond, but I have one more question to add before I ask them to. Abid Rasool, please tell the country, if the changes are so minor and non-significant, then why is the law minister, Prime Minister's official, coal ministry official, why do they deem it necessary to make such changes? Question number 2, can anything take away from the fact that the Supreme Court was misled, that the report was never shared by the CBI with the political executive? That is exposed today.
Arnav, two things are there. One is basically the impatience of BJP. With great respect to Mr. Mahesh Jethmalani, I would like to say that they have become so impatient and so nervous about the whole issue that they are not ready to wait for the Supreme Court to educate and take a decision on it, whereas the Congress has been saying time and again that we will honor whatever orders come from the Supreme Court. Now about the issue and the questions you have raised, I would like to say that CBI and Law Ministry work in conjunction. They are officers from the Law Ministry who are representing CBI.
No.
So based on that, let me complete. I have not spoken in middle. Let me complete. So basically, if the report was shown and if some small minor corrections were made as shown by the director CBI, it's not such a big hue and cry.
It's of course it is.
Already seized by the Supreme Court.
Of course it is. No, Mr. Abid Rasool, I'd like to quote for you. I'd like to quote for you. Mr. Abid Rasool, I'd like to quote for you the Vineet Narayan judgment.
Definitely listen to you. No, let me come to my final concluding point. The final concluding point here is there are definitely double standards as far as BJP is concerned. Their double standards are that they have brought this matter up to the Supreme Court, but they do not trust Supreme Court. They have brought the matter to Parliament, they don't trust the Speaker. They have brought the matter to JPC, they don't trust it. So now basically they want to boycott everything on the streets of India, not in the Parliament, to create a sort of public opinion that we are doing something wrong. But their whole exercise has failed in Karnataka, will prove that day after tomorrow. Now as far as what you have raised the point, I would like to say that if we have done anything wrong, if the Supreme Court find anything wrong, we will be responsible.
Mr. Abid Rasool, I am not even going at the explosive.
I am concluding.
No, Mr.
1 minute, I will conclude it.
Mr. The hands going up from the BJP want to counter you.
Never tried to brush the whole thing under the carpet at all. If we had tried that today, the allegation that CBI is controlled by us would not have come true. Today, it is very clear to the country that CBI is an independent body working in the interest of the country.
Sir, are you trying to link the Bansal case to the independence of the CBI? In other words, may I ask you that did the government ask the CBI to go after Bansal so that the purity and independence of the CBI is to be established? I mean, what kind of argument is that, sir? 1 second. Vineet Narayan wants to come in. Yes, Mr. Narayan.
Yeah. Arnab, first of all, what CBI has done and what government has said in the court through its lawyers, or CBI has said to the lawyers, is something which the whole country has seen. I mean, they were lies spoken and for which they owe an explanation. But having said that, I would like to remind you that this is not the first time. I mean, we are very naive if we think that this is happening for the first time. This has been the practice with CBI. Even the court has observed that 15 years ago when they gave that famous judgment, they wanted CBC to monitor CBI and CBI to be autonomous. But that has never happened. The primary issue with which I went to the court was to ensure investigation, which was never done. So this has been the case with CBI. Whichever is the government, they use CBI to settle their political scores. And CBI officials, being part of the government, regularly consult the government. They have to seek funds from them. Their promotions, their postings, their deputation, everything is controlled by the government. So it's very naive to think that CBI is out of the world.
No, I am not imagining that.
So transparent.
No, I am not imagining that. I would never be so naive. My only point is this. I'll get Gaurav Bhatia and then I'll come to you, Sanjay Jha. You see, today there is paragraph 21 in which the Central Bureau of Investigation is telling the Supreme Court, with respect to point number 5, it is submitted there is nothing in the CBI crime manual where the status reports in respect of ongoing investigations in a sub judice matter are to be shared with others. In our institutional memory, look at the language, Gaurav Bhatia. In our institutional memory, there no such guidelines could be located, but Vineet Narayan, certain directions were passed which we have appended. Now, I'll tell you what those directions were. Nobody more than Vineet Narayan knows. In the directions of 1996, Sanjay Jha, hear me clearly and then I'll ask you for a response. It is said, it is directed that the CBI would not take any instructions from report to or furnish any particulars thereof to any authority personally interested or likely to be affected by the outcome of the investigations into any accusation. This direction applies even in relation to any authority which exercises administrative control over the CBI, in other words, the government, by virtue of the office he holds. How can the CBI say today? We don't know. We didn't know we were not supposed to share this with the government. Gaurav Bhatia, given the Vineet Narayan judgment, will that argument hold?
Yes. Right. I think, this affidavit itself speaks volumes about the independence and autonomy of the CBI. And just because they are saying that there is no CBI manual that says that neutrality and impartiality has to be maintained, I would say that the Supreme Court judgment is on a much better footing and it is law of the land. And I'm sure that everybody from the law minister, from the PMO officers as well as the CBI director would be aware of the Vineet Narayan judgment because it squarely covers the point that we are discussing. Secondly, a lot is being said about the law ministry being the supervisory body. I would like to clarify that the Vineet Narayan judgment only said that in matters of policy, the ministry which is controlling CBI, which happens to be the Ministry of Personnel and not Law Ministry, would be interfering. They cannot ask for status reports or the investigation that is taking place in cases or in various FIRs.
Precisely.
They only have a supervisory role to play. This was again flouted. And third and foremost, in the previous affidavit, the CBI itself had said that the supervising officer of the CBI was also transferred midway. So I think the government also needs to answer that. Why was the supervising officer transferred midway?
So look at this. So look at this way. Let me complete the first round, then I'm opening this up. Mahesh Jethmalani, coming to you. Debate's getting very interesting. So two things are proven, Sanjay Jha. One, government meddles. B, the meddling is not to change English. The meddling is to change important parts of the manner in which coal blocks are allocated. C, the CBI is now saying, it's no big deal if we have shared a little bit. I mean, it's all right. If we've shared, we didn't know we were not supposed to. Now, will the Supreme Court in the given situation tell the CBI, very bad, don't do it again?
No, I'm not.
Or are you expecting something tougher?
No, I'm not going to forecast what the Supreme Court is going to do.
No, you tell me about...
I think the Congress party's official stance is very, very clear that this matter is for the Supreme Court to refer to on the day after.
So do we believe.
No, let me answer your question. Please. I mean, if you read the affidavit carefully, and I'm sure everybody on the panel has, the CBI has mentioned that all during the process of inquiry, its interactions with people from the PMO, its interactions with the people, bureaucrats on the Ministry of Coal, were as part of the investigative process. So for people to
one minute.
And they have also mentioned that any iteration or any alteration in the nature of the report was actually done. Majority of the changes were brought forth by the CBI officers themselves because they wanted to refine the report in terms of a better format.
Wrong on both counts.
I've read it.
Wrong on
it's
both
been done
counts.
In consultation with the AG
wrong on both
and the Law Minister.
Wrong on both counts.
The clear words are refine the report.
You are.
Let me answer your third point.
You are wrong. No. One minute.
Because I heard
you're wrong on both counts.
1 minute. Because I heard Mahesh saying there was an attempt to manipulate the report. Why it's completely wrong. Number one, as you started at the very beginning,